And military families are certainly used to change. Mary and Jerry Gay have moved their family with each new assignment.
So when Jerry was sent to the Middle East for his 14th deployment, Mary, who was pregnant, moved back here to Georgia. But late last month, they were brought back together by a diagnosis neither of them expected. The Fox Medical Team's Beth Galvin is here now with their story. Beth?
And Tom and Sine, the Gays have 3 older sons. All of them were delivered by cesarean section. And those surgeries may have raised Mary's risk of uterine scarring and another complication that could cause severe bleeding after her delivery. But fortunately, Mary's OBGYN and her surgical team at Northside Forsyth were ready for anything. Sinclair Gay was born on the happiest, most harrowing day of her parents, Mary and Jerry Gay's lives. January 4th, the day the Air Force major gained a daughter and feared he might lose his wife.
It sort of reminds you of what's important and then how quickly it can all be taken away.
Sinclair wasn't due until February 9th. Then Jerry was deployed in Qatar in the Middle East. But at her 30-week checkup, Mary's OBGYN, Dr. Alex Zaccarino, noticed something odd.
He said, you know, there's a spot that I see that doesn't look quite normal.
Unfortunately, a lot of these are missed.
Mary had a condition known as placenta accreta. Typically, that occurs when the blood vessels of the placenta grow too deeply into the uterine wall, so the placenta can't detach like it should during birth.
The biggest risk factor to the mom would be the risk of postpartum hemorrhage or uncontrollable bleeding.
Mary was told she would need a C-section soon and possibly a hysterectomy, so Jerry rushed home on emergency leave.
It's gut-wrenching.
January 4th, Mary was prepped for the OR at Northside Forsyth Hospital with a backup supply of donated blood on hand just in case.
During the C-section, her bleeding was minimal. After we removed the placenta, it did not appear that the accreta was as extensive as we thought. We agreed that it would be best to close the patient up and preserve her uterus, which is what we did.
And at that point, I am ecstatic, and because this is best case scenario.
Jerry went to the NICU with their new baby, Sinclair, and Mary was moved to the recovery area. But as she came out of anesthesia,
I knew something wasn't right.
She was in severe pain, and her surgical nurse could see it.
She very quickly realized you're bleeding too much, and she got my doctor back in there, and the anesthesiologist was back in there pretty quickly, and they got me back into the OR. And
Mary was now hemorrhaging. She needed more than 30 units of blood to replace the blood she was losing. But the surgeons were able to stop the bleeding and remove part of her uterus.
So it was the longest hour and a half of my life.
Mary woke up in the ICU on a ventilator, asking to see her baby.
I don't think you can go through something like that and it not change you some. I mean, I appreciate things a lot more.
And the Gays are grateful for the doctors and the nurses who were ready, and the strangers who gave blood, unaware that her life would depend on it.
A lot of family and friends have asked, what could they send us? What can they do for us? And I've told them, just go donate blood.
Good advice. And Sinclair Gay had to spend her first few weeks of life in the NICU at Northside Forsyth, but she is now home with her parents and she's doing well. And Jerry Gay will return to the Middle East to his assignment on Wednesday.